I want to be honest with you about something. There's a specific kind of dread that doesn't come from what you see. It comes from the math, from realizing that something was already watching you long before you knew to be afraid. I found a camera in my office in March, not a new camera, an old one that had been recording for at least 6 weeks before I noticed it. And not one person in that building, not the IT team, not facilities, not security, could tell me who put it there. I'm a financial analyst. I worked for a mid-sized logistics company. Nothing glamorous, nothing sensitive as far as I knew. I had been with the company for 4 years at that point. I knew the building well. I knew the people well. I knew where every piece of equipment belonged. I worked late often. That was just part of the job. Month-end closes, quarterly reports, the kind of work that's easier to finish when the floor is empty and the phones have stopped ringing. Most nights, I was the last one in the office, sometimes the only one. I never felt uncomfortable there. Not once, not before March. If any of this resonates with you, if you've ever felt like something in a familiar place was subtly, quietly wrong, I want you to stay with me on this one. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think happened. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time. This is the kind of story that's easier to hear when you're not alone. It started on a Tuesday, February 18th, 11:42 at night. I was finishing a variance report that was due the following morning. Everyone else had left by 7. The cleaning crew came through around 8:30. After that, the floor was silent. I remember the fluorescent light above my desk had been flickering for about a week. Facilities had a ticket open for it. It wasn't alarming, just mildly irritating in that low-grade way background things are irritating. I went to the break room to refill my coffee. When I came back, my second monitor, the one I used for the surveillance dashboard, had refreshed. It was a habit I had developed, keeping the camera feed open in the background while I worked. Not for any particular reason, just to know if someone came in. The dashboard showed 12 feeds. It had always shown 12 feeds. That night, it showed 13. I stood behind my chair for a moment, looking at it. I didn't sit down right away. The new feed was in the lower right corner of the grid, a grey rectangle. No label, just a live image. I leaned closer. The angle was tight, shot slightly downward. I could see a desk, a monitor, a coffee cup, a stack of folders. It took me several seconds to understand what I was looking at. That was my desk, my monitor, my coffee cup. The folders I had set down 20 minutes earlier when I went to make copies. The camera was looking directly at my workstation. I turned around slowly. I scanned the ceiling, the walls, the column near the window. I didn't see anything immediately. The light kept flickering. The building hummed the way empty buildings do. I sat back down and opened the dashboard settings. Every camera had a registration ID, an installation date, a technician code. I clicked on the 13th feed. The ID field was blank. The installation date was blank. The technician field said, unassigned. I sat with that for a long time. The next morning I came in early, before anyone else arrived. I walked the perimeter of my workstation slowly, looking at the ceiling panels, the wall fixtures, the edge of the partition. I found it after about 4 minutes. It was small, smaller than I expected. Mounted inside the housing of an old intercom unit that hadn't worked since the building renovation 2 years prior. The lens was no wider than a pencil eraser. I didn't touch it. I photographed it with my phone from 3 angles. Then I went to my desk and wrote down everything I could remember. when I first noticed the feed, what it showed, the registration data, or the absence of it. I sent an email to IT at 7:54 a.m. I kept the subject line neutral. Unregistered device on surveillance system. Please advise. The IT director responded at 9:11. He said he'd look into it. He asked me to send the screenshots. I sent them. By 2 p.m. he still hadn't replied. I went to his office. He was at his desk, but he had the expression of someone who had spent the day doing something uncomfortable. He told me the camera wasn't in the system, not in the asset registry, not in the security vendor's records, not in any purchase order going back 5 years. He said it was probably something left over from a previous tenant. Old hardware, probably not even functional. I asked him if he had watched the feed. He paused before answering. He said he hadn't been able to pull it up on his end. He said the feed had disappeared from the dashboard sometime that morning. I went back to my desk and opened the dashboard. 13 feeds had become 12 again. That night I went home and sat in my car in my building's parking garage for 11 minutes before going inside. I didn't know why exactly. I just wasn't ready to stop moving yet. Facilities came 2 days later to remove the device. A technician named Paul, who I had spoken to maybe twice in 4 years. He was polite, professional. He took the intercom housing down, removed the camera, placed it in a small plastic bag, and said he'd log it with building security. I asked him if he could tell how long it had been there. He looked at it for a moment. Then he said carefully that the mounting adhesive was pretty well set. He said, "A while." I asked him to be more specific. He said he wasn't a forensics guy. He said he couldn't really say. That evening I requested the full surveillance archive from the security vendor. I had the access level to do it. I submitted the request at 4:47 p.m. and received the data at 6:12. 14 days of footage, the maximum retention window from all registered cameras. I started at the beginning. I watched myself work. I watched myself walk to the break room, to the copier, to the bathroom. I watched myself on the phone, rubbing my eyes, stretching, eating a sandwich at my desk on a Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. On day 9 of the archive, I noticed something. In the background of one of the hallway cameras, you could see the edge of my workspace through the partition gap. And on the far wall, near the top of the intercom unit, barely visible, slightly overexposed by the ceiling light, there was a tiny, steady green dot. The camera had been powered on for at least 9 days before it appeared in the dashboard. Someone had activated it remotely. And then, for reasons I still don't understand, they had connected it to our internal system, made it visible, made sure I would see it. I have thought about that many times since. The part that didn't make sense wasn't that it existed. It was that someone wanted me to find it. The investigation, if you can call it that, concluded 6 weeks later. Building security said the device was an off-market micro camera, the kind sold in bulk through grey market electronics channels. Untraceable. No fingerprints recoverable from the housing. No one was ever identified. No one was disciplined. No one was fired. I still work there. The intercom housing was replaced with a flat cover panel. The light above my desk was finally fixed sometime in April. I don't keep the surveillance dashboard open anymore, and I never work past 9 p.m. Those are small changes, reasonable ones. What I haven't been able to resolve, and I'm not sure I ever will, is the question of intention. Someone installed that camera. Someone turned it on, and at some point, for some reason, someone decided it was time for me to know it was there. I don't know what I was supposed to do with that. I'm still not sure.